Good afternoon, everybody. It's Vlogmas day 10, and you guys won't believe this. It is freaking snowing out here. It is like a mini blizzard. I'm in love. Oh my gosh, look at the snow. It feels amazeballs. I just had to come outside and show you guys what it looks like. Yes, it is freaking snowing like crazy. Okay, so I really don't know what I look like. I probably look tired, but now that fun and excitement is over, it's still snowing like heavenly right now. So there's really not much I can do today. So I just made me some cookies. I got me some milk, and I'm really just going through editing videos and promoting them basically. So as I watch these Christmas movies, I guess I can go through and kind of tell y'all about like which movies are my favorite, what they are about, what network you can find them on, who's in them, things of that nature. Y'all probably already know a lot about these movies, but some of these movies are super duper old, and like I don't really watch adult movies. I watch a lot of kid movies. So yeah, this is for my childish fans, the people out there that like to watch like cartoons and stuff. There's really not cartoons. There's not a lot of Christmas cartoons that I really care for, but they're really nostalgic and fiction as far as like any Christmas movie is. But you see me. Okay, so we're just gonna jump right into these reviews and my top 5 favorite Christmas movies. All right, so here we have my number 1 favorite Christmas movie of all time, and it is starring Jim Carrey in The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Now, this movie is probably the greatest Christmas movie of all time. I don't know any other Christmas movie that, you know, is as popular, and especially in our generation. I think this Christmas movie takes the cake. It is about the Grinch, basically a Scrooge of Christmas that just completely hates Christmas, but he has his reasonings. He lives in the tip-top portion on a hill of Whoville, and he just despises Christmas because of things that had happened in his past. And then there's this little cute girl named Cindy Lou Who, and she is trying to figure out what the real meaning of Christmas is. And she goes on this hunt to figure that out. Her dad tells her a little bit about the Grinch and who he is and why he's such a bad person. And she sets out to change that. She sets out to figure out the backstory of why the Grinch was, you know, the Grinch, basically. And she goes up to his house and introduces herself, invites him to the Who Meister, tells him that he was nominated to be, I think it's the Who Meister Award. And they kind of create a bond type of thing, but not really, because the Grinch is the Grinch. And then the Grinch finally comes down to join a party, and he realizes that, you know, it was the adults are, you know, still kind of not over the things that they did in their childhood, and the mayor kind of made fun of the Grinch, and the Grinch didn't like that. So that's when the Grinch decided to steal Christmas with his dog Max. And his dog Max is the cutest thing ever. And he eventually realized after he had stole Christmas on Christmas morning, when all the Who's gathered around the biggest tree of Whoville and sang songs and still were very merry, even though all of their Christmas presents and Christmas trees were gone, that they still had a reason to be happy and be merry. And he realized that then, Christmas is not about presents. It's about the joy of being around the people that you love. And I really, really enjoyed the entire movie. Jim Carrey played his ass off in this movie. Like he played his role. He did his part. And I really enjoyed this movie. If you haven't seen it, I strongly recommend. And I'm only recommending the 2000 version of The Grinch Who Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. I don't really recommend the cartoon version that came out, I believe, in 2016, 2017. It's good, but it's not as nearly as good as this one. All right, moving on to the second. I'm not going to say that the rest of these are in any type of order, but this next movie is Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Okay, now I do have to say that number 1 is also good, but number 2 is my favorite out of the bunch, only because it's so much more action in the second one than in the first one. But I do recommend that you watch the first one first. I forgot this kid's name. Macaulay Carson, I believe. Anyways, this movie is the spinoff of Home Alone, which is about a kid that is left home alone after a family goes off to a family vacation. And it's a family of 12, a really big family, so it's super easy for someone to get lost. And the first one, he was left at home, and then the family came back before Christmas, or I think it was on Christmas. And then the second one, the mom tried to make sure that Kevin was, right by her side, but they were flying to, I think it was Hawaii, and everybody was loaded on the plane, and he got left behind somehow and jumped on the wrong plane, and he jumped on a plane to New York City. Coincidentally, he grabbed his dad's wallet or his dad's bag along with jumping on the wrong plane, and ended up in New York City alone. He didn't really care to go to Hawaii anyways, so it was kind of a cool thing for him to go out to New York City for Christmas, because New York City is known for their Christmases. So, he went and rented out a luxury hotel with his dad's credit card, had room service, and basically had a blast. Well, that kind of came almost to an end when he ran into the burglars that robbed his home in Home Alone 1, and they escaped from prison, and they saw him coincidentally all the way in New York. I know, right? So yeah, he's fighting his way away from the burglars again, and it's just a fun, adventurous, super cool Christmas movie. And next up, we have The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. This movie is a really simple movie, but it is so cute. I don't know how I fell in love with this movie. It's super old as well. But it is about a dad who is kind of, I think he was babysitting for his mother, kind of babysitting his own child type of thing. He was staying at his mom's house for a weekend or so, and Tim Allen was actually the believer of the movie, and he was explaining to his son how Santa was really real, and his son was convinced by his stepdad that Santa Claus was not real. So they're just having this bonding time and spending a lot of time together while their mother is out of town. And they hear a thump on the roof one morning or one afternoon. They went out to check out to see, or they went out to see what was going on. And they discovered that Santa Claus had fell off of the top of the roof. So the kid convinced his dad to finish what had to be done in the nick of time, and that was to deliver the rest of the Christmas presents to all of the little kids in the middle of the night. So Tim Allen put the suit on and he became Christmas for that night. Well, over time, he started gaining the weight as Santa Claus would and growing a beard that he couldn't control. And he realized that he was becoming Santa Claus. And that's basically the moral of the story. He goes to the North Pole, talks to a few people. The elves tells him, exactly what's going to happen to him and that he is the new Santa Claus. And at first he was, kind of despising the role, but he eventually became the best Santa Claus ever. This is actually a trilogy, I think. It's 3 of these, one with Frosty and then one with like a clone Santa Claus. And next up, we have The Polar Express. This movie is top tier, okay? Now, mind you, in this movie, the characters really don't have names. It's a really weird type of movie. It was put together with Tom Hanks and I forgot the director's name. But they really made this movie as open-minded as they possibly could. There's ethnicity, different kind of kids with different kind of attitudes. You can just really tell that the creators and the directors really wanted to make this movie as open-minded as possible and really make you think about a lot of things when watching this movie. I can't really tell you what that means, but if you watch the movie or if you've seen this movie, you kind of know what I'm talking about. So the moral to the story is this kid, which doesn't have a name. He wakes up in the middle of the night and he hears a train randomly. He doesn't ever hear a train in his front yard. But he looks out his window. He sees that there's a train outside. So he steps outside to see what's going on. The train conductor steps off the train and he asks the kid for his ticket. And he's like, I don't have a ticket. And he's like, check your pockets. So magically there's a ticket in his pocket. He pulls it out and he stamps his ticket. Further on in the movie, you'll understand what's going on with the stamps and things of that nature. But the kid jumps on the train and he goes finds a seat, and all of these magical things that you just never would imagine happening on a train starts happening on the train. Out of nowhere, they have a hot chocolate party, which is very famously known after the Polar Express was released. The hot chocolate song and the hot chocolate scene of the Polar Express is very popular, and they have had so many companies try to duplicate the whole scene and do the act out in real life for kids and things of that nature. But the train is actually on its way to the North Pole to have the first Christmas gift opened or something like that. And all of these awesome things happen. Like this young little girl is, super heroic, not afraid to just be herself and do what she knows is right. And super brave little girl, just a leader. And it's just a very inspiring story. As an adult, I still find some inspiration in the story of the Polar Express. So if you haven't seen that, I do highly recommend that as well. Okay, and for the finale, I 100% had to ask myself time and time again, did I want to put this movie in here? Only because this movie just came out this year. But it is phenomenal. The name of the movie is Jingle Jangle, and it is just, it is amazing. First off, it is a musical, but it's not one of those annoying musicals that they just sing and sing and sing and sing. They will sing some parts that they're acting, and then sometimes, they'll do the whole sing and dance type of thing. But this movie is amazing. So this young lady's name is Journey. She is the granddaughter of a famous toy maker that had a very bad apprentice working for him, and stole everything that he had. After being persuaded by one of Jeronicus' toys that he had invented, which was an evil toy by mistake. And he became he became the most famous toy maker of the century type of thing. And he had to keep that momentum, but he couldn't because he didn't have any ideas that were actually his. And so he tried to rob Jeronicus. And I'm going to stop talking right there because I feel like I'm giving away too much information. But yes, Journey was sent by her mother, which I think she actually forged the letter coming from her grandpa to her mother, stating that her grandpa wanted to spend some quality time with his granddaughter that he had never gotten the chance to meet. And she is very much so like Grandpa Jay or Jeronicus, very innovative, basically. And Grandpa Jay was actually losing a lot of hope within his self and his creative side. But Journey actually came back and restored a lot of that hope and got him back to a happy place in his life. Such a beautiful movie. I fell in love with this movie. I had to go ahead and put this movie in my top 5 favorite movies because I literally have watched this movie about 5 times, and I might watch it again tonight because it's amazing. So yeah, that is the end of my top 5 favorite Christmas movies. If you guys want to tell me about any of y'all's favorites, let me know in the comment section, and be on the lookout for Vlogmas day 11. Thanks for everybody for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.